All right, y'all. We are live for Keto Class. Keto Class. All right. So we are going to talk about those hidden sugars that you may not even realize. Like on the ketogenic lifestyle, there's some of these things out there that you just are hidden, and sometimes it's about product choice because sometimes there's some products that are better than others. So hey, Melanie, I see Renee out there as well on the Facebook side. Where my YouTubers at? Okay, there goes some YouTubers. I see Elena. Hey, Elena on YouTube and Janie on YouTube as well. So yes, y'all, there's some sugars that you might be missing, and sometimes, well, in certain products, you can find a better one. You can find something better. So I'm going to talk about some of those things today. So, we're on YouTube, we're on Facebook, we're on TikTok. I didn't do Clubhouse today, but sometimes I go on Clubhouse as well. Today probably would have been a good time to hit Clubhouse up because I'm going to do more of a list. I like to do lists and top 10s and things like that. I think that those really spark a lot of conversation for me, to just go into deeper detail about some things. So these are the 10 things that may be knocking you out of ketosis that you might not have known about, that you might not have realized it. So these are keto foods that might not be so keto. All right. So that's what I named it. Keto foods that might not be so keto. So y'all definitely, as you come in, let me know who you are, where you coming in from. So Ellen said, preach it Sunday. I'm not preaching today. I'm not preaching today, Ellen. No preaching today. So Maxine is in there. I see Francine. Hey, I see Facebook user, whoever that is, that's under Melanie. It's a couple of them. Couple that say, "Hey, coach, y'all make sure you go up to the description and let StreamYard recognize you as a as a user, and in that way you can I can see your name and I know who you are." Y'all, Facebook side, YouTube side, ask questions, y'all. I really want to encourage y'all to do more question asking throughout the lives because that's where my focus is through the lives. And I know TikTok, they have no problem with asking questions. So TikTok has no problem asking questions. On the TikTok side, y'all, tap the screen if you're staying on TikTok. Let other people know that we're here. If you're on YouTube, give it a thumbs up. Facebook, give it some likes, give it some shares. If you got some groups that you like on Facebook, share it in some of those groups. But definitely, y'all, those are the things that keep this thing going and keeps me in front of my cell phone or my computer to keep sharing information. Is that when the information is shared out there, and like y'all know, my mission, help 1 million people. I can't help 1 million people if I get 5 people and they don't tell nobody. So if you know somebody that loves the ketogenic lifestyle or wants to learn more, introduce them to me so I can help them along the way. Just like hopefully I've been helping you. Oh, Lisa in the house. Lisa, 50 pounds down. All right. So I had a conversation with Lisa, 50 pounds down. So that is amazing since December, I believe. So since around December. And if you can get started during the holidays and lose, that's awesome. So that's amazing. So y'all, it's just been amazing being able to help individuals along the way and just see their journey. Because some people's story is I gained weight during the pandemic. Some people that were in my group, their story is I lost weight during the pandemic because we worked hard during that period of time. When we had a lot of downtime, we worked hard on learning the ketogenic lifestyle. So definitely, y'all, I appreciate y'all popping in here. I see Arceli. Hey, thanks for popping in. So let's get it going. And on the TikTok side, don't be mad at me if I don't see your comments or your questions, but definitely drop them into the Q&A box, and I will see it as soon as we finish the live and the after party gets started on TikTok. So let's get going, y'all. So when I think about these food items that can be higher in carbs, I put together a list, and I'm gonna probably jump around on what I wrote, but I have I pretty much I was eating beef jerky. Okay, let's just talk about it. All right, I was eating beef jerky a lot. I mean, in the beginning of my ketogenic lifestyle, because as y'all know, I coach a semi-pro basketball team, and some weekends, pretty much every weekend, we would be on the road. Just about every weekend. Some weekends we have home games, but when we would hit the road, and I would go to the 7-Eleven or whatever convenience store, whatever gas station we would stop at, it would be Slim Jims for me, right? And Slim Jims, y'all, can be one of those things that hinder you because Slim Jims, all right, they have a lot of sugar in there, a lot of hidden sugar. Slim Jims have corn syrup in them, they have maltodextrin in them, and they have dextrose. So that is one thing you got to be mindful of. I know it is like a meat type stick, and I know it's like a protein, so people tend to think like, oh, it's going to be all right. It's going to be good. I mean, granted, I would rather you eat that than a Twinkie, but just so you know, so you can make a better option, so you can make a better decision. Because if you go into the store and they have other brands, you may be able to find one that's better than that particular brand. So just be mindful of that, because that was one of the biggest mistakes I was making in the beginning. Is I was just eating because that's all I knew, Slim Jim. I mean, that was like the most popular meat stick. I never heard of no other ones. That I just knew Slim Jims, and the other ones to me was off brand. Like, they off brand. I ain't eating them. I'm getting me a Slim Jim. So I know that they have lots of sugar. I mean, they doubled down on sugar. All right, double down on sugar. They got dextrose, maltodextrin, and corn syrup in there. So you definitely want to be mindful of those, and even some of like the shredded meat as well, the ones that they sell in the bags. Those as well you can find those that can be sugary as well, that have those hidden sugars like those dextroses and those things on them as well. Especially those teriyaki ones. So the teriyaki ones always taste so good, but they got sugar in them, y'all. All right. So you got to stay away from those. You said Slim Jims, a lot of fat, but bad for you. Yeah. So Elena, yes. Yeah. So they got a lot of crazy ingredients in those Slim Jims. So Melanie says frightening. Yes, and yes, indeed. So you want to be mindful of that. You want to definitely be mindful of those meat products. So meat products in general, you want to make sure you're reading your labels, because it's real easy to just grab those and go because it's a meat product. You're like, hey, this got to be keto, but make sure, because they do hide ingredients in those, a lot of them, and you want to make sure that you are getting the cleanest version that you can possibly get. You said, what about crackling? So Elena, you talking about crackling? You talking about like pork rind crackling? That's fine. The only thing with pork rinds that you have to worry about is maltodextrin. So some of the seasoning has maltodextrin in it. So that's the only thing you really have to be mindful of with pork rinds, is that maltodextrin. So yeah, crackling and pork rinds are going to be good for the most part. But yes, that is another one that should be on the list. I didn't put it on the list. I didn't want to make it too long, but that's a good one to bring up, Elena. Is pork rinds is another thing that was tricky. That really tricked me for a long time. I mean, up until like a year or so ago, because I never paid attention. I never really I never read the label, because it was pork rinds. Like, what could be in a pork rind? Maltodextrin on the seasoning. So y'all definitely make sure you take a look at the pork rinds, because they have maltodextrin in them as well. So usually that's going to be the only ingredient. So if you like plain, I don't like plain pork rind. So I'm always the flavored pork rind person. So the plain ones would be the better ones. If you're not sure, just get the plain ones usually. But there are even some brands that have maltodextrin on the plain pork rind. So you got to be mindful of those. All right. So let me go to the next one, which would be salad dressing. Salad dressing can be so tricky. And I think one of the trickiest things about salad dressing is that with keto, we really eat the opposite of what we've been taught all our life. So we've been taught to eat the vinaigrettes and all of those as being the quote unquote healthy dressings. And granted, I'm not saying it's unhealthy. What I'm saying is it's not conducive to the ketogenic lifestyle. So all of the vinaigrettes that we were always taught to eat and those type things, they're sugary. Like, there's a lot of sugar in those. And I didn't learn that either until I started keto. I'm like, wow, never realized it was so much sugar in those. And we've been taught not to eat the white dressings. We've been taught not to eat what I can't even, like, my name they won't even come to me. All I got is this daggone honey mustard in my mind, because that's the one I was getting ready to say. But all of the dressings that we want to get are going to be our blue cheese type dressings. So those are the ones that we want to get, but you still have to look at the ingredients on those. So you still better make sure you're looking at those ingredients, because dressing, they will throw sugar in those very quick. So once you find a brand that you like, then go with it. So y'all know I talk about Primal Kitchen all the time. Primal Kitchen is like top shelf. All right. So when I talk about Primal Kitchen, that's like the best of the best. So yeah, you can find other dressings that are not made by them that are going to be good. But the best of the best is going to be like your Primal Kitchen, and they're going to have some other flavors and things like that. So your ranch dressings, and your blue cheese dressing, that's the one that wouldn't come to me for some reason or another. But the ranch and the blue cheese dressings are going to be your better dressings on the ketogenic lifestyle. Your Caesar dressings, those are going to be like some of your better dressings on the ketogenic lifestyle. But we've been so used to the vinaigrettes that we kind of gravitate to those, but they are very sugary. And you have to look at the ingredients when it comes to your blue cheeses as well, because those they add things into those creamy dressings as well. As I said, creamy dressings, right? So they can add sugars into those. So I'll piggyback on that since we're talking about dressing. Condiments. Condiments are the same way. I had no idea when I first started keto how much sugar was in ketchup. I had no idea. Like I literally have a empty ketchup bottle in here that I'm going to pour sugar in because I've been intending to do this visual to show y'all, because I actually have a project at school where the kids put all the sugar in these different brands of drink. I need to just go video that and show that to y'all too. But yeah, it's eye-opening when you see how much sugar is in ketchup. And I never really thought, I don't know, y'all. I didn't have no coach. I didn't have nobody telling me. I was just going for it, right? I was just going for it. And I didn't really realize how much sugar was in ketchup. But a lot of the condiments that are out there, like barbecue sauce, and I'm assuming that you know nothing. I'm assuming that you know nothing. I know some people are like, I know barbecue sauce, but barbecue sauce has a lot of sugar in there. Ketchup has a lot of sugar in there. So you got to be careful with the condiments. You got to be careful with the dressings. When you go out and they give you them little packets of dressing, you got to look at them. You got to look at them because they put all this corn syrup in some of them. There's so many ingredients that they just throw in those. And here again, dextrose in there as well. Y'all know the food industry knows that we like sugar. So they know in order to keep us coming back, all they got to do is add a little sugar to it and we're coming back to get more. So be mindful of those. So I see some more, so I see, hey, coach, I don't know who you are because you got a Facebook user. So make sure you let StreamYard recognize you so that I know who you are. So I know who you are when you come into the lives. So I appreciate that. So that's salad dressing. So we talked about salad dressing. We talked about condiments in general. Like those are so tricky. So you got to be mindful of those. You got to be able to start reading the ingredients and recognizing some of the ingredients that you don't want to take in. So let's talk about honey roasted. So when you see honey roasted things, especially peanuts, because I know before I was keto, I used to eat honey roasted peanuts all of the time. Honey roasted peanuts, and I think maybe people know this, but I'm assuming you know nothing. Honey roasted peanuts, very high in carbs, y'all. So I mean, just thinking about what it is honey roasted. They usually got sugar crystals on top of it. But I know sometimes there's just a mental block. I know because I've experienced it myself. I experienced it. Like I tell y'all, I was eating oatmeal, and I don't know why. I guess because I had seen all of this stuff about oatmeal being heart healthy, and I just didn't put the connection. I just didn't connect the dots. And then when I finally connected the dots, which was soon after, I mean, I wasn't eating it for like months on end, but I had eaten oatmeal for a couple of weeks before I figured out that it wasn't keto, you know? So I was like, oh man, and y'all, those who don't know, I started like 4.5 years ago. So a lot of the resources that are out now were not around then. So I was pretty much winging it, which is one of the reasons why I started to teach keto, because once I learned it, I'm like, oh, this is pretty simple. Some people just going to need some guidance, but you can have some really good results. So hey, Mary, so it's Mary. So you can have some really good results once you kind of get the basics or get the fundamentals of the ketogenic lifestyle. So honey roasted nuts, definitely something you want to be mindful of to stay away from. They're sweet. So it's got sugar. They even put sugar crystals on it sometimes. So since we're talking about nuts, I'll go to cashews. So cashews, you definitely want to stay away from cashews. They have that hidden sugar in them, and it's too high. It's too high to maintain the ketogenic lifestyle. So it's not like sugar in the sense that you're used to thinking like sugar. It's carbs. It's just carbs. They're high in carbs. So you want to stay away from cashews. If I'm going to talk about the nuts at the moment, the best nuts that you're going to get are going to be macadamia nuts, Brazil nuts, pecans. Walnuts are going to be your number 4. Almonds are going to be somewhere around number 5. But I wouldn't even go as far as almonds. I would stick with the top 3. I would stick with the top 3, maybe walnuts, because that means you're eating with a purpose. So you want to stay away from like peanuts and cashews, even the peanuts that are not roasted. Granted, if you at Five Guys with your family and you eat a couple peanuts while they making the burger, that's not a problem. But I wouldn't take peanuts for lunch. I wouldn't like package them up and take them with me. Like if you're somewhere and they got little peanuts and you crack a couple open, boom, that's fine. That's 100% okay. But definitely peanuts, super moderated. Cashews, eliminate. Like don't eat those at all. And that's a trick that I think some people just don't realize that cashews have that many carbs in them. So also you talk about pistachios. Pistachios are also up there. They're not quite what cashews are, but pistachios are kind of like in that realm with peanuts. Like I wouldn't go buy a bag of pistachios. I wouldn't do that on the ketogenic lifestyle. Now, if you and your friend at lunch and they got a couple, you're like, let me have a couple of pistachios. That's fine. But I wouldn't be eating ounces of pistachios because they're higher in carbs and they're less fat. If you're gonna eat with a purpose, eat the top 3, which are going to be macadamia nuts, pecans, and Brazil nuts. Walnuts, honorable mention. All right. So if y'all got any questions, y'all definitely drop them in. Drop those questions in there. I'm going fast and furious right now. I'll talk about pickles because we talked about pickles in the mastermind earlier today. So pickles are good, but there is a hidden sugar in pickles. And I posted this earlier. Because I did a TikTok months ago, a long time ago, like in 2020. I did a TikTok on pickles because I found out myself looking for pickles that the bread and butter pickles are higher in carbs than the regular like hamburger pickles. So you want to make sure that you look at your labels when you get pickles because the bottles will look exactly alike. They'll be right next to each other and you'll mess around and get the wrong thing. So y'all definitely go look at the TikTok. Maybe I'll post it in the groups. I'll post it in all the groups. I know on the TikTok side, y'all just have to scroll down. I'm holding a jar of pickles, so you'll know which one it is. But yeah, you gotta be mindful for those. And I'm not saying pickles are bad, not all of them, but you gotta be mindful that those bread and butter pickles, they are higher in carbs than the hamburger pickles. So make sure you're paying attention. Make sure you're paying attention because that is another way people get tricked up and mess around, get knocked out of ketosis, right? And then y'all know I don't really like to use that phrase, knocked out of ketosis, but that's a way that people can slow down their results or hinder their results by eating that for a stretched period of time and don't even realize it. So if I'm like, hey, you need electrolytes, drink pickle juice, and they're like, oh, I love pickle juice, and they're buying the wrong pickles and they're just drinking the wrong pickle juice, like for weeks and weeks on end, then those are things that could be slowing up your progress. So another one, dark chocolate. And I'm looking for questions, y'all. So y'all drop some questions in here. I love to kind of like bounce off of y'all a little bit on your thoughts as well. So it don't feel like I'm just sitting here talking to the screen, So I love to have that back and forth with y'all. I might have to look over to my TikTok folks because they'll ask questions. So I see Soar 3853 says pistachios are addictive, and that's probably why, because they're high in carbs, right? They're higher in carbs. When I say high in carbs, I don't mean like they're, super high in carbs. Of course, you can have some pistachios, but I definitely would not have. I wouldn't be eating about an ounce at all. So dark chocolate. So dark chocolate, y'all, you got to be really careful with dark chocolate because when dark chocolate can be 55%. So if it's 55% cocoa, what's the 45%? All right. It's sugar. Like it's sugar. So that's the thing you got to be mindful of. You got to be mindful of the percentage. If you're eating 55% dark chocolate because somebody said dark chocolate is keto, then you're really getting a lot more sugar than you really want to be getting in. and it can definitely be hindering your results. You want to go at 80 or above. I don't get anything below. I'm gonna say on the worst case, I would get something at a 70, but that's worst case. That's like every now and again, like I'm somewhere that they don't have an 85 or 80 or above. Some of them will be at a 78, but really I say 78 and above that's where you should be sticking to with the dark chocolate, because that is everything. But every percentage you go down, they add more sugar. So basically, every percentage you go down, they add more sugar. Every percentage you go up, they're adding more fat. And I'm not saying they're adding it, but you're getting more fat. You're getting more fat. And also, what I've been teaching my groups, get the Lily's dark chocolate. Like, get the Lily's dark chocolate. And I do mean 85%, y'all. And I know that's hard because people say it's bitter. I got one in here, and I got a bark in here right now. And it takes me a while to eat them. But I promise you, let me get a 55% dark chocolate. It ain't going to last a day, because it's the sugar in it that keeps you coming back. It's the sugar in it that keeps you craving. So it's the 85% is the wheelhouse. If you can eat the 85% dark chocolate, I think that you're going to be good, because you'll eat 2 barks. You're going to get a lot of fat from that. And not only that, you're going to get a small amount of sugar. Now, if you get the Lily's dark chocolate, 85%, not only are you going to get the fat, but you're going to get 0 sugar, because they sweeten it with stevia. So you want to make sure that you can kind of transition into that. If you can stomach dark chocolate, I know people use the term bitter. That is bitter. So I see your question, Lynn. Thank you for that. I'm gonna come to that. I've acquired a taste for dark chocolate, I guess. I don't know. I know some others may have or may not. But I usually stick it around 85%. I'll get 78% if I see it every now and again. But you want to stick with dark chocolate. If it's milk chocolate, I see somebody got milk chocolate. So Lily's, let's talk about Lily's. So Lily's, I'm sorry, Lynn asked about Choc Zero. So Choc Zero is good. Like, for a snack, for a good chocolate snack, it's good, but it's not going to get you to the goal line. Like, it is not, you're not eating with a purpose if you're eating those. Like, those are good treats, they're good snacks. But here again, they're probably using about 50 to 55% cocoa. They're just not using sugar as a sweetener. They're using stevia or something else as the sweetener. So you're still not getting the fat that you want to get from the chocolate, but you're maintaining though. So I'm not knocking Choc Zero or not knocking the Lily's milk chocolate, but what I want to teach you is to make sure that you're getting those fat numbers, and chocolate is a great way to get the healthy fat. But the biggest mistake that people make is that they go get dark chocolate, like even Dove's. Like, people will go get the Dove dark chocolate. Like, I got dark chocolate. I've had people do that. Coach, I got dark chocolate. I'm like, no, not that. And it's like 55%. And it's like, look at the back of that. And it's loads of sugar in it. So you just want to be mindful of that. All chocolate, even 85%, has sugar, unless it's made from Lily's, or whatever other company might make it like Lily's. So whatever other company might make it like Lily's, but Lily's is the one that I suggest to get the 85% dark chocolate Lily's, because now you got not getting any sugar added at all. Because if you get an 85%, let's say Lent, then you're gonna get 2 or 3 grams of sugar added to that. And each percentage you go down to 70%, it's going to be 3 grams of sugar. Go down a little further, 4 grams, a little further, 5 grams, a little further, 6 grams of sugar. So the further down you go the line, the more sugar they add. So that 55%. So whatever they have, the cocoa, the rest of it is sugar. So just be mindful of that. And we talk about, and Lori coined this phrase of eating with a purpose. So eat with a purpose means that you're getting dark chocolate, but you're getting dark chocolate that's 85%, because you know that you're going to get X amount of fat, 14 plus grams of fat from 1/3 of the chocolate bar, basically. From 1/3 of the chocolate bar, you're going to get 14 plus grams of fat and 0 sugar. So opposed to just getting the 55% Choc Zero or Lily's, and you're really not getting anything out of it, but curbing your sweet tooth, which is fine. I'm not condemning that. But if you're going to eat with a purpose, get to 85%. So you say you savor the dark chocolate and I only have a piece and I'm done. Yes. So that's Soul getting all of the love today in here. So yes. Yeah, because when you eat dark chocolate, it causes you to savor it because it's not addictive. So when you eat a couple barks of it, it really satisfies you, and it has fat. Y'all got to remember that fat is double the amount of calories as protein and carbohydrates. So when you eat a high percentage of cocoa dark chocolate, you're getting a lot of fat. So you're not. It's going to satiate you a lot faster than just eating a quote unquote dark chocolate or milk chocolate bar, which is just going to be straight sugar for you. So that's another one. That's one of the biggest ones that I see a lot of people making that mistake with, and that's why I guess I'm on this one so long. Is not really paying attention to the percentage of cocoa. Got to pay attention to that and not just be eating a 55% dark chocolate, because trust and believe that 45% that's left is all sugar. I ain't gonna say all sugar, but it's a lot of sugar. So Andrea said one bite of dark chocolate, I'm done, moving on. Yeah, so I mean, I know, like for me, I could buy 2 Lily's bars and they'll last me like a week. And that's the 85%. If I buy like the 85%, I mean a week or more, I should say. And that's like just the bars, because I'm only gonna break off the 1/3 of it a day, pretty much. 1/3 of it a day is about all I'm gonna eat. And that's all I really want to eat. Like, I'm not like looking at it like, oh, I'm gonna eat the whole thing. Like, it's not, it's just so it's such a difference. It's such a difference. And it's not because it's not good, because it does curb the sweet tooth, but it doesn't make it so that it's addictive. Like, you just gotta have more. I'm just ate the whole thing. I don't know what happened. Isn't it? Like, it just don't happen like that with the 85%. So that's the dark chocolate. I talked about the cashews. I talked about the condiments. I talked about the pickles. Let's talk about cauliflower pizza, y'all. Cauliflower pizza. You got to be careful with cauliflower pizza. They make it sound real good at these restaurants that, oh man, we got cauliflower pizza just for y'all keto folks, right? But they don't tell you that they made half of it with cauliflower and the other half they made with the real deal flour. So you end up with high carbs with this cauliflower pizza. So you want to be very, very mindful of cauliflower pizza. You want to know what's in it. You want to ask, get the ingredients. I have a restaurant that's really close to me. They're like a mom and pop type pizza shop, and they had cauliflower pizza. And I'm like, oh man, I go in there, bust in there, like, hey, cauliflower pizza. And I'm like, well, let me see what's in it. I mean, and he went and found the wrapper for me and took it off and showed it to me. I was like, oh man, it's half and half. It's like half cauliflower, half regular flour. So be careful with that, y'all. Even the store-bought versions of cauliflower pizza, you got to be very, very careful with those, because they're very similar. There's only a few. I think maybe I don't even want to start naming no brand names, because I'm not really 100% sure about which ones. But if I had the labels in front of me, I could tell you. But the majority of cauliflower pizzas that you see out there on the market, whether they be store-bought or whether they're selling them in a restaurant, are half and half. They're like half cauliflower, half regular flour. So you definitely want to be mindful of that. Don't go in there thinking you're getting a straight cauliflower crust pizza and you like, hey, you gonna be out of ketosis, y'all. Trust and believe it. You're gonna be out of ketosis. You're gonna be like, Coach, what I got to do to get back into ketosis? Because that is not true cauliflower. So it's that making your own cauliflower pizza crust is the best. Definitely with any of these things, with anything really, the best move is always to make your own. If you have that ability, or if you have that kind of time and energy. I know I was always the person that just wasn't going to sit in the kitchen and make stuff like that. So I just wouldn't have cauliflower pizza if I had to make it myself. So, I get it. But definitely, it's going to definitely be making it yourself is always going to be the best practice. So fathead dough pizza is definitely delicious. I've never seen a cauliflower crust made at home, but I would definitely do the fat dough. I would definitely do the fat. I've never tasted, I should say, Renee. I've never tasted a true cauliflower crust pizza, which I just told on myself because I done had the other one, right? I done had the half and half before, right? So the fathead dough pizzas are really good. Like, if you don't know how to make fathead dough, I've made it a couple times on my TikTok. You can check that out. Fathead dough. I think I made a fathead dough pizza on my TikTok, so you could definitely check that out. That dough, like, you could trick your kids with that. Like, you can make pizza with the fathead dough; they would not know the difference. they would not know the difference. And I know some people even make chicken base, like they'll make the crust will be out of like chicken. I tried that before. Mine didn't come out too good. I think that I had the chicken was too thick. I think I needed to like thin it out a little bit more. But if I had to choose, I like the fathead dough. So Renee, the cauliflower pizza recipe, you gotta share that. You gotta share that so I can try that one. I've never tried the cauliflower pizza at home. So Artelia says Keto and Company has a good one. Okay, Keto and Company. Oh, I like Keto and Company. I've never seen their pizza crust. You said with the chicken is good too. Yeah. Yeah. So you said fathead dough is legit. So Andrea says, yeah, fathead dough is definitely legit. You can make that. Like I encourage you, y'all. Go make some fathead dough pizza one day and don't tell your family that it's keto. They won't know the difference. It's that good. Like if I had the time, I'd be making fathead dough all the time. You can make pretzels with the fathead dough. You can make biscuits with the fathead dough. I mean, you can make everything. Once you learn how to make that fathead dough, I mean, you can make everything. You can make all of it. You can make loaves of bread if you want with it. So fathead dough, that's a good skill to have in making that fathead dough. So yeah, Renee, send us that recipe so we can try this cauliflower crust. I might have to try that. I've never had that. So the Keto and Company, we have a promo code for Keto and Company, y'all. So if you go to the link in my bio, wherever you are, if you're on YouTube, TikTok, or Facebook, if you go to my bio link and go to my promo codes page, or you just type in promo codes.ketocoache.com. Let me see if I got it streaming. If you got promo codes.ketocoache.com, then you can actually get the discount from Keto and Company. So if you want to check Keto and Company out, I would do it that way. So if you don't have it in your local store, hey, why not? Go ahead and get the promo code and save some money on it. So Lisa said Philly cheesesteak. So let's see here. What's I got next on my list? So we talked about pickles, condiments, cauliflower pizza, dried fruit. So I know that a lot of people probably know this, but there might be some thought that it might be better because it's dried. Usually, y'all, if they dehydrate the fruit, it has more sugar in it. So those dehydrated fruits that they put in the bags and all of those type things, even the ones that we can normally eat, like the blueberries and all of those type things, and the strawberries, if they dehydrate it and put it in that bag, it's going to have a whole lot more added sugar. They're going to make it super sweet. So you want to stay away from those dehydrated types of fruits because they're going to be super sugary. You said Goomba got fathead down. He said our girls love it too. Yes, I hear you, because that fathead dough, I'm telling y'all, that is whoever came up with that one, boy, I tell you what, they're genius. And it's basically made with almond flour and cheese. I mean, that's the basis of it. Almond flour and cheese is the fathead dough. So y'all, if y'all want the recipe, y'all check out my TikTok. I've made fathead dough a couple times on there. So I know I made the fathead dough pizza, and I made something else with fathead dough. I can't remember what the second thing was. So check that out. But stay away from the dried fruit snacks, y'all. The dried fruit snacks, the dried cranberries, all of the dried fruit snacks, y'all, those are high in sugar, very high in sugar. The dried bananas, we know bananas already, but I think that some people have the tendency to think that because they've been dehydrated, they took the sugar out, when in actuality, they added more sugar. All right. So be mindful of those. Peanut butter. Peanut butter is one of the biggest mistakes people make on the ketogenic lifestyle, because peanut butter can be keto, quote unquote. You know, it's like peanut butter is one of the things that you can eat and still stay in ketosis, but you got to find the right metric with the peanut butter. Sometimes people overdo peanut butter. I'm guilty. I've done it because I grew up in a house where we would buy jars of peanut butter and we would like have one of our own, and literally you just spooned it out and ate peanut butter. Like, so I grew up off of peanut butter like that, right? So peanut butter can be high in sugar. There can be peanut butters that have in the upwards of 6 and 7 grams of sugar in it. So you have to be able to find the peanut butter that does not have that high level of carbs in there. The more organic the peanut butter, the less carbs it's going to have. So you want to look for one that's more organic. Some ones that have the oils in them and all those type things are going to be better. They're going to be the better ones. The ones that are less processed, the more processed they are, probably the more sugar they added. All right. So be mindful of the peanut butter. Make sure you're looking at the labels. That's one mistake that people tend to make. Crazy Richards. We've been talking about this for a while. Like the mastermind group has talked about Crazy Richards, which is at I think it's a Walmart or Target brand, or they be at both of them. They had both. Crazy Richards is one that they talk about that has very low carb count. But you want to find the one that has the lowest carb count. I found some store brands that just have low carb counts. So you want to make sure that you are paying attention to those ingredients on peanut butter, because they can jack you up. All right. So make sure you're paying attention to peanut butter. MSG, what is that? Monosodium glutamate. So you wanted the MSG, y'all. Usually I just shorten it as MSG, because if they write it on the label, it is like five sentences long. So you want to make sure that MSG is not in anything that you're eating, because if it's in there, then that means MSG is known to raise your blood sugar. So you want to be mindful of that. If you see MSG in something, then you want to be mindful of it. I know a lot of eating out restaurant type stuff. You probably would find MSG in a lot of that stuff. I mean, back in the day, I learned about MSG being one of the things that screwed up your ability to not be hungry. So it screws up your ability to shut off the food response, to say, hey, I've had enough. You know, so if you ever eaten, I know one of the biggest things that used to be in Chinese food, like it was like a huge thing when I was growing up, that it was in Chinese food. And I always thought, like, I never get full off of Chinese food. Like, I could just eat it forever. Like, you know, and even if I got full, it's like 20 minutes later, I'm back at it. So it's like, you know, that was that MSG. That was an MSG that was in there that would basically screw up your ability to say, hey, I'm full. And you just keep eating and keep eating and keep eating. So not only does it cause you to keep eating, but it does raise blood sugar. It's known to raise blood sugar as well. So protein bars. You want to be careful with protein bars, y'all. So I think about the one at Costco. I put that in the mastermind group earlier today. I didn't get a chance to answer the question, though. So the one I put in the mastermind was an automatic fail. But this is one I was eating. I was eating it. And I can't even say I was enjoying it, because I didn't think it was the best tasting bar. But I was eating it because it was convenient. My Costco was close to me, and this, that, and the other. And then when I really analyzed it, I did my blood sugar one time. In one instance, I did my blood sugar, and then I really started evaluating and analyzing the ingredients. But the product doesn't say keto, but you know, the product doesn't say keto on it at all. But you know, there's just those things that you see, and you're like, okay, it's a protein bar, like it should be all right. It's low in carbs, it should be all right. But be mindful, y'all. A lot of those protein bars are gonna have, not only are they super high in protein, which will cause you to go over the protein that you want to take in, but some of them are super high in, if not sugar, in some of those ingredients that you don't want, like the maltodextrins, the maltitols, the dextrose, all of those things. They tend to put in those protein bars. Sucralose. I said I wouldn't talk about sucralose today, but even when I did the walkthrough the other day, when I did the walkthrough in the store, y'all noticed I looked at some of the products, and they had sucralose in them. Quite a few of the bars had sucralose in them. So you want to be mindful of the protein bars when you're looking at that. And then I'll end it on these last couple. So store-bought coleslaw. One of the lessons I learned, and I when I did my walkthrough the other day, I told them about this. So like store-bought coleslaw, like, you know, on the label, they'll print out like what they put in it. Y'all be mindful, because a lot of those store-bought slaws and also the tuna fish salads and things like that, where they add the mayo, like they add a lot of sugar into those. So if you're buying a store-bought, like already prepared coleslaw, or a store-bought already prepared like chicken salad or tuna salad, y'all make sure you ask or you pay attention to what's in it, because they will add lots of sugar into those things. Because here again, they know we're addicted to sugar. They know if we get a little taste of it, we coming back. So be mindful of those. That was definitely eye-opening for me. That was one of the things as a coach. Now, this is when I was really into keto and I'm coaching, and I learned, like, wow, like I can't believe I felt so bad that day. Like I felt so bad that they got me. I was like, they got me. You know, I was hurt that I had eaten that daggone coleslaw. And I'm thinking like I'm getting the best thing. I'm getting the best thing I can get out the store. And I'm gonna eat at lunch real quick. And that coleslaw had all that sugar in it. So be mindful of the coleslaw. Be mindful of the. And I'm not saying that coleslaw is bad, y'all. What I'm saying is that, like Renee said, make it at home. Coleslaw is going to be better if you make it at home. If you buy the bag of slaw by itself and you go home and you sauce it yourself, that's going to be much better. Not to say all stores add sugar to it, but you want to find your metric. Find a place that's near you that doesn't add it, so that once you find them, then you can you kind of know your spot. You know, okay, I can go here and I'm good. So make sure y'all paying attention to that. The same thing with the chicken salad. I'm not saying chicken salad and I'm not saying chicken salad is bad. Like Renee say, make it at home. Make it at home. You're gonna get the best version of it. You're gonna get the best version of it from making it at home. And meatloaf. So be mindful of meatloaf, because what do people put in meatloaf? They break bread and put it in there. It's like a way to like hold the meatloaf together. So you want to be mindful of that with meatloaf as well, and find out if they do put breadcrumbs inside the meatloaf. Also with crab cakes. So they do the same thing with crab cakes. Is they use these breadcrumbs and bread to hold it together. So if you're eating out, if you're eating somewhere where you didn't make it yourself, then you want to be mindful of those things when you're looking at store-bought coleslaw, the meatloaf and meatballs. So even meatballs, you can buy meatballs, and sometimes people that will make the meatballs themselves, and they put the breading on the inside of it. So be mindful of those things, y'all. Those are a few of the things I really just wanted to kind of run past y'all so that y'all know, like, these are some things that are keto that you didn't know might not be keto, you know, because who would think like I'm going to buy some coleslaw and they just added a whole bunch of sugar in it, or who would think that like I'm buying tuna salad and they just added a whole bunch of sugar in the tuna salad? Like, it's tuna salad. Like, is it supposed to be sugar in this thing? But I mean, it tastes real good, y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all, I was duped. I like when I tasted it, I knew. As soon as I tasted it, I was like, oh my, like, it's sugar in this thing. It's gotta be. Sure enough, I turned and looked at that little label they print on there, and I was like, man, I knew it. I knew it. So y'all just be mindful of those things, because they will hinder your results. They'll hinder your results, especially if you're doing it over and over and over again. So just imagine, like for me with the chicken salad, like if I had kept going over there and buying it every day or a few days a week before I really looked at the label, I wouldn't have known no better. So I was thinking I was getting the best choice I could get out of the store and at that period of time, which was probably better than I could have done. But here again, I didn't want to have that sugar. So I hope this was helpful for y'all. Y'all, anything that you need is in my bio. So if you go to the link in my bio, you can find anything that you need. It's so funny that because I've been working on my book to get it on Amazon. My book is over here. Let me see if I can't touch it. I can't never get it. There it is over there. Oh, right there. My book is over there, the Keto Playbook. So I'm actually been working on it to put it on Amazon. So that means I've been rereading it. And I'm like, man, this is some good stuff. I'm like, oh my goodness. I'm like rereading the book. Cause you know, when you create something out of your own mind, sometimes it's difficult to evaluate it. But since it's been a while since I've written it, I'm like really reading this book, and I'm like, man, this is some good stuff. Like people should want this. You know, that's what I'm thinking in my mind. Like, people should want this book. So one day I might even just go over the chapters in the book, because I don't think that I probably don't, I don't want to say sell it enough, but I don't talk about it enough for people to understand the value of the book. But the book is awesome. Right now you can download it, $9.95 on my Etsy. If you go to the link in my bio, you can download the book. And then once you download it, you get an instant coupon to get the meal plan. So the meal plan is only $5. So and I think you get 10% off the meal plan if you buy the book. So the meal plan gives you 2 months worth of meal plans, 63 recipes, and 2 months worth of a keto shopping list. So man, I'm telling y'all, I read through that, and the book is an easy read. It's an easy read. I wrote it. Shoot, it's an easy read. You know, it's an easy read. So it's a real easy read. It's not that long. Like most people who are readers could probably read it in less than a day. I mean, like in a matter of hours, if an hour, could sit down and read it and get a lot of the content out of the book real super easy. So hopefully by the end of the week, I'll have the hard copy on Amazon. The hard copy will probably be double the price of the ebook and less colorful. So get the ebook for $9.95, y'all, because I might be asking y'all in a week to try and make this Keto Playbook a Amazon bestseller, so it could be at the top of the charts, though. So I really was impressed. I'm not gonna lie, I really was. As I'm reading through it, I'm like, wow, this is some real good stuff, and it was timeless because I really wrote the book almost 2 years ago, and I didn't feel like I had to add anything or take anything away from it. Maybe a couple things I'm gonna add just to add to the length of the book, just to make sure it's long enough to be in the thickness of the book and that type of thing. So I probably will add my ketone acronym and my SAME acronym and things like that in there that's not in the original book. I think the 23 frequently asked questions, instead I think I have 10 in the book, but I'll put all 23 that I have written out in the book. So little things like that I'll add just to add a little extra flavor to the new and improved version of the book. But y'all definitely go grab it off of Etsy. The link is in my bio. It's definitely will walk you through what you need to know about the ketogenic lifestyle. There's so many lists, food lists, everything is in that book. And I'm like, man. So I definitely was like feeling it when I was reading it. I was like, wow, this is definitely going to be helpful for people that really buy it and read it. Because I know sometimes people just buy things and don't look at it, and that's just human nature. I mean, it happens with everything. So check that out, the Keto Playbook. Also check out the meal plans, all on Etsy. The meal plan is an Etsy bestseller, actually. It's like the Etsy bestseller in the meal plan category. So definitely check that out. It's only $5, where other people are selling meal plans for double the price, half the content. All right. Double the price with 30 days worth of meal plans, where I have 60 days worth of meal plans. And not only that, I got recipes and shopping lists. So, all right, y'all, I'm going to shut my face up and I'm going to get out of here, and I will see y'all next Sunday for Keto Class. I hope this was helpful for y'all, just to try to spin it a little bit, because I know we always talk about the certain sugars, the sucraloses and the multidextrins and all of those things. But I really wanted y'all to see and look at some of these things that you might not really be thinking about, that really looking at the labels on those, because you might be missing it on certain brands, because each brand is different, and they know we love sugar. So, hey, they're going to throw it in there every chance they get. So thank y'all. Check out the links in the bio. Y'all have my information, my phone number. I'll stream it across the bottom real quick. For those here, shoot me a text. You can shoot me a text. We can set up a time to chat to help you get going in the right direction. I don't charge for that. I spend that time with anybody who needs that time. I feel like if I have the ability to help you change your life, and maybe even help to save your life, then I'm going to do that. I don't feel like I should charge you for that. So if you and the thing is people don't abuse it. I haven't had anybody abuse it as of yet. And most people don't take advantage of it, because most people say, I know you're busy. I'm like, all right, I'm not as busy as you think I am. So, use it. The squeaky wheel gets oil. If you need help, if you need to get your macros straight, get headed in the right direction, y'all make the phone call and get going in the right direction. That's what that is for. Or shoot a text if you got a question. All right, y'all. And it's me. It's no bot. There's nothing like that. So it's not like you're going to shoot me a text and then you're going to get a bot. No, it's all me. It's literally on this phone right here. All right. This is it right here. This is hello, Keto Coach E speaking. This is it right here. All right, y'all. So I'll see y'all next Sunday. And y'all have a great week. Y'all have a great week. And meet me on TikTok for the after party for the Q&A. See y'all soon.